Hello, everybody. By everybody, I mean Alani and Kadena, of course. Today, I'm going to be discussing what Miss Munoz had gone over in class, and we're really just going to get a feel for it. So, one example of an equation would be. Fuck, gotta restart. And place for that. Now, one example of the questions on the review was what was the base of ln? Now, ln of course stands for natural log, and the base of a natural log is of course going to be e. Now, this is one of the easier questions, so let's move on to something that tripped you guys up a little bit, Alani, and we're going to try and see if we can solve it. One example of one of the questions was, and fucking hell. And if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that this was actually the exact question. That's his log. I apologize for the poor handwriting. Fuck, what was it? I mean, gee golly, I wonder what this last one was. I think it was just like, cute, let's rock it up. Now, first, what we want to look for is what we're supposed to do with this problem. Um, I'm just going to give you a little hint. We are going to try and condense this problem, okay? Now, condensing this problem looks rather simple. Um, I'll probably edit that out. Now, condensing this problem looks rather hard, but it's actually pretty simple. We're going to want to do 3 steps. Step number 1, we're going to look at the signs. This is of course a minus sign, and in logarithms, that means we're going to divide. So imagine, I guess, this entire thing divided by this. Uh, we're gonna we're gonna set this to 3 because that is going to be more accurate to Miss Munoz's drawing, or Miss Munoz's lesson. And by that, I mean it was the exact number. Now that we have this, we need to see something, okay? Well, they all have logs with the same base. So we can cross these out, which is going to leave us with... I apologize if you have to view this video. It's going to be unnecessarily long because this is a really poor medium for what I'm attempting to do. But that's not quite the point, is it? I seem to have messed up a bit here. Let me try and correct that mistake. Rather silly, I can just use this, can't I? Now, the log isn't really important. However, what we do want to pay attention to here is these numbers. Now, this number right here is going to be a fraction. This is a free. This is a free. My apologies, there should be a 2 here. Ignore that if you have to see that. Now, what we're going to want to do is multiply these with something. Yo, I'm going to be real with you. I just zoned the fuck out. Let me try and... Ugh, alright, let me just... Okay, cool. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to multiply these numbers by an invisible exponent here. Well, not in some cases, right? Now, when we multiply 3 with an invisible exponent of 1, we're going to get a 3. So, let's clear up a bit of space up here. I wouldn't want to do that for you guys. You guys should be able to see all my work in one doc, right? Or messy of me if not. So we're going to try and move this over here. We now have x2 3 multiplied by, well, fraction x plus 1 to the half. Now on the bottom here, it's going to be x plus 1. But because it's not invisible, we can multiply this by 2 so that 3 turns into a 6. Now, we're going to be doing one more crucial step. This 3 can actually be multiplied by this 2, as having this entire thing here isn't quite proper in math. So, we're going to move our final finished equation right here. So, it's going to be x to the power of 6 multiplied by, well, that's quite odd. It's a fraction, isn't it? I'm not going to pull Miss Munoz and, well, guys, what do you think it is? I'm going to tell you outright, my apologies. This fraction turns this into a square root. So, what we're going to do is we're going to square root all of this. Now, oh, now, as we can see, we've still got a little friend down here. So, we're going to put him right where he belongs. And that is your final answer. Well, there's one more thing we have to do here. Um, fuck. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember, people. I'm so really sorry. But basically, we're gonna put one big parentheses around these. And then, I apologize. Please allow me to erase this. Now, this will be on the other side, but I kind of fucked it up. You feel me? Now, this is equal to something. Unfortunately, gentlemen, I fucked it up, didn't I? Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, talking to myself here, this I do not remember. Um, I believe it was LN, it could have been E, could have been X. I don't know that, ladies and gentlemen. So I really apologize for that, but just know that the final answer was this. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, well, Diego, aren't you going to teach us anything else? This feels kind of lackluster. It's just a single problem. Well, I'm going to erase this again. I apologize. If you had been focusing a lot and paying attention, which I'm sure you guys have, my question was rhetorical, you guys would probably be able to catch up on that. I just gave you all the tools you need. So I'm going to have another problem for you guys to condense. So now, pause the video, and you try. Okay, so let me walk you through condensing it. First of all, this is a subtraction problem. So we are going to be now, first of all, this is a subtraction problem. So we're going to be dividing all of this by this. Now, I'm sure you guys are screaming at your screens. Now, I'm sure you guys are screaming at your screens. Diego, Diego, we can multiply the exponents. And I would have to say to that, you guys are right. But first of all, alright. Now, we're going to be multiplying the exponents. Here is invisible 1. So you have to write down a little 1 there, don't you? Down here, it's a 2, so you don't really have to. Now, we're going to cross out these logs for semblance and because you can. And we're going to turn our equation into this. Well, what's 3 times 1? 3, of course. Or I can pull up a calculator if you guys aren't sure. I hope this shows up for you. Let's see. 3 multiplied by 1. I guess that happens to be 3. Now, what is going to be dividing? Or what's going to be dividing this, I suppose? Well, our old buddy, x plus 2. I've actually known him since college. Oh, you guys can probably tell I've made a little mistake here, haven't I? This 3 has already been used. Now, I've known this guy since college, and we're really good friends. And he always told me, Diego, I want to be multiplied by 4. Well, Well, I don't really want to be able to play by 4. My cousin does. Then number 2. And so, of course, we're going to do that. I'm going to pull up a calculator just so you guys can, be aware of everything, every step I'm taking here. I think that's a 6. So we're going to write down a 6 here. And that is going to, well, that's not your final answer, is it? Because you can multiply this, and you have to keep in mind that there are invisible exponents here. So you're going to get a final answer of x. Well, we don't really need a parenthesis, do we? I apologize for that. Our answer is going to be x to the 6th divided by, well, visible ones here, multiply them, assuming I did that right. If not, I'm sure you guys got it. X 8 plus 2 to the 6th. And that is going to be your final answer. Oh, the, the video's not over yet? Ah, fucking hell, what do I gotta do? Oh, yeah. Now, we've actually been condensing our equations. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, I messed up right here. Now, we've been condensing our problems, but we wanted to condense them. I meant to say, now, we've been condensing our problems, what if we wanted to expand them? So I kept that shit in mind or something. The following equation, log, open parentheses, x, y, squared, close parentheses, free, is kind of tricky. But I'm sure you guys can get it, so please give it a try. I said go try it. Okay. Now, there's two things we have to keep in mind here. First of all, there's an invisible exponent here. So, remember, because we have a little exponent outside, we're going to multiply all the exponents inside. So, 3 times 1 is x to the 3. 3 times 2 is y to the 6. Now, we're going to close these in parentheses, just, for parentheses sake. And I want you guys to keep in mind that x is being multiplied by y. So, it's going to be an addition logarithm. So, our final answer is going to look like this. Log x 3 plus log y 6. I'm making that one more time in case I had previously poorly explained it. We're going to be expanding this log. X to the power of 1, y to the power of 2, multiplied by 3. Exponent of 3. Now, the invisible one's going to be multiplied by this 3, so it turns into a 3. This not invisible, very visible 3. This very visible 2 is going to be multiplied by this 3 out here. So, multiply it here, and kind of ignore this. It's not really addition, kind of. Now that we have that 3 and that 6, we have to keep in mind that this is a logarithm, and they are multiplying each other. So, when multiplying logarithms, it is represented by a plus sign. So when you separate them, you're going to add these two together. But because they're multiplying each other, you're going to separate them. So in this box is going to go our first multiplicand. Yeah, multiplicand. And in this box is going to go our second multiplicand. That should be a y. I'm sorry if it looks otherwise. Dude, I'm done now, right? Yeah, probably. Now,